Apparently you are struggling with IELTS reading, right? Which is why I'm here, helping you with IELTS reading. What if I told you I could read your mind? I know exactly what happens in your mind whenever you do an IELTS reading test. Do you believe me? Probably you do because you're watching the video. This is an impromptu video, it's not scripted, so maybe there would be something that I say that may not be very well worded. Leave that aside, okay? But because it is impromptu, you know that this is very good because it comes from my understanding, and I'm sure I can explain it very well to you. So let's get started. This is a long video and I should be putting it under the series, Everything IELTS, the series where I help you achieve your IELTS target band score. So that's what I often say in other videos if it is scripted, but it's not scripted. So anyway. So basically in IELTS reading, you need to read a bunch of texts and you need to answer a bunch of questions. The problem here is there are too many questions and there are too many words. There's so much to read and there's so little time for you to do, to answer the questions. You have only 60 minutes, time management and everything. The problem is there. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about each and individual kind of question and what is going on in your head and why it is causing you problems, okay? If you can relate to any of the things that I'm going to say in this video, please leave a comment. So I have a guide, Everything IELTS, the comprehensive guide to IELTS, and this guide is free on my website, practicesite.co, where you can also get a lot of free practice tests and free tips. Like 90% of the content on the website is free. So check it out. Everything IELTS, the comprehensive guide to IELTS, also practicesite.co, the website, if you haven't checked that out yet. In this video, I'm going to tell you what is going on in your head and something that is causing you the problem with each kind of IELTS reading questions. I have a tendency to speak quite fast, so because the video is not scripted, I am kind of like making a lot of effort here to slow down. But if the video is too fast for you to follow, or if I say something that you need to rewind to understand, please do so. Let's get to work. So the first thing is about true, false, not given, right? The legendary true, false, not given. True, false, not given, or yes, no, not given actually tests your understanding of the concept. You need to understand what is true, what is false, and what is not given. You have found the information. You have found the area where the relevant information is. But you cannot decide the answers to the statements. Like you don't understand if it's true or false or not given. The reason for this is not because you don't understand the text. Apparently, you have understood the text very well, which is why you have found the area where the information lives. But you don't understand the statements. You don't understand what the statements are asking you to do. You don't know which information from the statement you need to focus on, which is why you're focusing on everything, and at the same time, you're not focusing enough on the things that matter the most. So in true, false, not given, the best thing you can do for yourself is to spend more time reading and understanding and feeling the statements. And this is exactly what I also talk about in my Everything IELTS guide, which is free. But I know you're not going to my website to get the free guide. So I'm going to tell you in this video, because I know you're not going to read it. You're not going to get the guide even if it is free. Not if, even though it is free. Am I correct or not? I can't tell you how much I want you to prove me wrong. Okay, I want to be wrong in this case. The second kind of question I would like to talk here is the is this kind, fill in the gaps, the completion kind of questions. This is probably the is this kind of IELTS reading question that you need to solve in your actual exam, but it's not easy for you, especially when you are allowed to write only one word in the gaps, because you have read the text and you have found the relevant words and relevant phrases. The problem here is you don't know which words to leave behind and which words to keep for the gaps. For example, beautiful girl. Would I put beautiful? Would I put girl? Because putting beautiful girl would be a wrong answer because the gap allows you to write only one word. It can also happen if you are allowed to write 2 words or 3 words. So if this is you, I want you to listen to me now. This is what I also tell my clients, and I'll also talk about in Everything IELTS, the comprehensive guide to IELTS. But as I said, I don't think you will check it out or get it, even though it's free. I'm going to tell you now. There are 2 things that you need to ask, 2 questions you need to ask yourself whenever it comes to this situation. The first question is, does any of the words that I have found already appear in the question? If they are already in the question, you're not going to put them in the gap. That's going to be double appearances, right? Not good. So for example, if you have found beautiful girl and the word beautiful is already in other forms, but already in the question, you're going to leave that word behind and take only girl to put in the gap. The second question you should ask yourself is about grammar. And this is for people who are good at grammar or who are confident with their grammar. So grammatically speaking, what kind of word would fit this gap? Keep this in mind, okay? In filling the gaps, the majority of answers would be nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Other kinds of words are normally not answers to the questions. Keep that in mind. One tip for you. The third kind of questions a lot of people have problems with, you may also be having problems with this kind of question, is heading matching questions. Now, heading matching questions are one of the biggest problems in IELTS reading. People struggle a lot with this kind of question. The struggle is that several headings contain information that exists in the paragraph, so you don't know which heading is the correct one. The root cause of this problem is the keywords, because you heavily rely everything on the keywords. You look for keywords, you try to find them, and you try to determine your answers based on the keywords that you have found. And this is a big problem. I have talked about this so many times. Keywords don't really work well in IELTS reading, not even synonyms of keywords. Keep this in mind. A heading means the main idea of the paragraph, and the main idea normally stays at the beginning of the paragraph. Everything else after that is just a decoration. Think about this as you buying a property. Are you buying a house or are you buying an apartment? If you're buying a house, the main idea of your buying is a house. If you're buying an apartment, the main idea of your buying is an apartment. There may be a lot of common things in a house and in an apartment, like the bathroom, the kitchen. But the main structure of the house is different from the main structure of an apartment. So you don't have to worry about the decorations. You don't have to worry about what is inside the house or what is inside the apartment. You have to worry about deciding whether you are going to buy an apartment or a house. AKA, in this case, you are going to look for the main idea of the paragraph. You're not looking at the decorations. Everything else can be ignored, okay? Remember, the main idea normally stays at the beginning of the paragraph. The next problem is with matching questions, including matching details, matching names, matching years, etc. This is particularly difficult when it comes to matching information that somebody has said or somebody has done or somebody has confirmed, things like that. There's one thing you need to keep in mind. We are looking for a specific detail, even if all of them have talked about a topic. It doesn't mean everybody has actually done research on that subject. So we're looking for someone who specifically said it, who specifically did research on it, who specifically confirmed or denied it. So we're not looking for general information, we're looking for specific information that is related to that particular person, that particular place or year, things like that. Finally, I want to talk about the problems that single choice questions and multiple choice questions cause you. In single choice questions and multiple choice questions, you may have already noticed that there are too many choices and all the choices mention the information that appears in the text. So it becomes very, very confusing. Again, I want to remind you about the keywords, okay? Keywords don't always play an important role in deciding the answers. They may not be useful at all. And in single choice questions and multiple choice questions, instead of just looking for the right or correct choices, you can always eliminate the wrong ones. And this is the exclusion method that I also talk about and discuss in detail in my Everything IELTS, the comprehensive guide to IELTS, which is free, but I don't think you will take your time to go to my website, practicenight.co, to get it. But if you decide to get this guide, please go ahead and do so. It's free on my website, practicenight.co, where you can also get a lot of free practice tests and free tips, free IELTS writing samples, free reading explanations, a lot of free things. Also free AI tools. How about that? Anyway, if you can relate to any of the information that I have given you, please leave a comment and also subscribe to my channel if you want to. I want you to understand this. IELTS reading is 40% reading comprehension and 60% exam skills. And I provide you with the exam skills. Come back to my channel later to understand deeper about the IELTS reading exam and every single kind of questions in IELTS reading and how to tackle them. In the meantime, get my guide to Everything IELTS, the comprehensive guide to IELTS. I am serious about this, okay? This is a very, very good material for your IELTS preparation. It includes everything and is entirely free for you to use. It's on my website, practicenight.co, and I'm serious about this. I have been joking about people not getting the free stuff, even though they have always been asking for free stuff. But if you have checked out Everything IELTS guide, please let me know what your thoughts are. Send me an email, give me some feedback. Anyway, so Ocean and I will see you in other videos. All right? Bye. Say bye. Bye bye. Have fun learning. Bye.